Vercel is the platform for front-end developers, providing the speed and reliability innovators need to create at the moment of inspiration. Founded by the creators of Next.js, Vercel has zero configuration support for 35 plus front-end frameworks, including SvelteKit. We enable the world's largest brands like Under Armour, eBay, and Nintendo to iterate faster and create quality software. Try out Vercel today to experience the easiest way to use Svelte.
Hey everyone, it's Svelte Radio. We're back, and this is Kevin, and I've got Anthony and Brittany with me. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Did you like my new exciting intro voice?
Are we just doing new voices today?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It was very odd. I liked it.
You need to have fun with this, right? You know.
Sometimes I wish that there was video on this to see how big our eyes get. Sometimes.
Who is this person that's talking? All right. So another Svelte Radio episode. What's up? What have you guys been up to?
I think we always go first. Why don't you go first today?
Okay. Yeah. I've cut my hair. I no longer have the long hair. People were shocked when they saw me.
I was like, "What did you do?"
Yeah, it's so nice. I don't have to care about all the long hair.
Yeah,
dropping everywhere.
It's probably like changed your face shape and everything. It's made you look like quite a different person.
Yeah. People tell me I look a bit younger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a lot less
Confirmation from
maintenance.
2 people here. It is. Yeah. It is very nice, actually. I think I'm going to stick with this haircut going forward for a bit until I get lazy and stop cutting my hair and then get the long hair again. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been doing stuff. Been working on the Svelte Society website, the Svelte Hackathon website, and the Summit website, and yeah.
I think you've got several linear project or parallel projects going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Lots of plans coming.
It is a lot of stuff that is like time-wise, it's going to happen at the same time, kind of, which is a bit stressful, but it's fine.
You need to ask for help.
Yes. I have as well. I did on Twitter. And I've got a lot of people reaching out to me to help with the video editing stuff for last Svelte Summit, which needs to get done. But yeah, the Svelte Society website is coming along nicely. I've gotten to play around a bit more with grid template areas again, which is always fun. It's so nice nowadays. You can just use for like placement of stuff. You just use grid template areas and that's it. You don't need anything else.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I like them a lot.
Yeah. So that's done. Well, almost done. Just need to move over all the content and finish a couple of pages. Moving the content is going to be fun. We'll see how that goes. But I might recruit some helpful people from the Svelte Discord at some time to help me with that.
Is it open source yet?
No, not yet. But it is going to be a good old monolith application with SQLite, and it's going to be fun.
Nice.
I ended up ditching Pocket Base. It's nice, but I wanted more control over the database and stuff. So
SQLite is a nice basic database.
Yeah. It's underrated, is what I'd say. But yeah, that's me.
All right, Anthony, you want to go?
Yeah. Well, as predictable, my life is dominated by work and children.
Children?
Well, a child, but I say children because it's everything involved around it, isn't it? It's a child implies the presence of other children that they're at nursery and things like that. So children, if going from before where I never encountered any children at all, and now there's just children everywhere. So all I see is children. But yeah, work-wise, it's just the usual, really. It's just really busy. Startups are pretty hectic, but going well. All exciting stuff. A lot of the stuff we're doing is just iterating on features, adding features right now, and doing the gradual migration from SAP to SvelteKit piece by piece by pulling parts of applications and rebuilding them basically.
Whew.
Yeah, which is, it's a shame there's no migration path, but at the same time, the migration path would have not really worked for us anyway, because there's so much sort of intrinsic code I've done over the years to try and make things work, and maps and URLs and all this kind of stuff, that migrating is impossible.
I feel like at this point too, Sapper is very different from what SvelteKit looks like today.
It should be. It is. I mean, the core of Sapper is still somewhere buried down in there inside SvelteKit. Not all the code is fresh and new and stuff, but yeah, the deeper we go, the more we move away from what Sapper was and into SvelteKit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the developer-facing stuff, the routes and the way you do loading and all of this stuff.
I mean, just on the surface level, like looking at them side by side now would be shocking, I think.
Yeah, well, the surface level absolutely is the core is the kind of critical bit that's still there. Even the routing, which was a big part of Sapper, has now changed. So there's definitely not a lot of Sapper left, but the good bits are in the middle. Because Sapper is showing its age a bit, but it's still fundamentally a good product. I'd still take that over a lot of the other offerings out there, even the more modern offerings.
Yeah.
But SvelteKit definitely is a game changer, and it's a pleasure to work in. A lot of our stuff moving into monorepos. They're a bit controversial, obviously, but the thing about monorepos for us is that it allows us to share components, keep things co-located, and do individual piece-by-piece deployment. So when we deploy an application to production, we just use change sets and tag it as we would any other library, and that triggers a release.
PNPM workspaces, or what are you using for?
We're using PNPM monorepos and change sets within PNPM, GitHub Actions for all the automation, and we're using Volta for controlling the node version. But I understand that there's actually a better way through PNPM, I think, to control the node version now. So it's one of those things that, given time, we'll get to, and there's always something changing somewhere.
A slow path, yeah.
Yeah. And
if only we could use jQuery all the time.
We should have Scott Talinsky back on to talk about that whole migration that they did too, because that's another big one that went through the whole migration. I know he moved from React to SvelteKit, but it's still relevant.
Yeah, and he probably experienced all of the major breaking changes there at the end of the SvelteKit development cycle as well. So that'd be interesting to talk about. And as well, like now that it's released, like how's he finding it and all of that?
Yeah, for sure.
I can reach out.
It's funny because we did do a bunch of early migrations to SvelteKit for some stuff, and as I go back now, and the first thing I do, like muscle memory, is upgrade it to the latest SvelteKit, and every single version, because they're all Next versions, are slightly different. And I see the decisions we made over the past. I'm like, oh, that's much better. Yeah.
Validating your.
Validating various choices that were made, but also, it shows you the path of thought and how it works out.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah. Well, I think for me, in the last episode, I was still on the job hunt, interviewing a lot, but happy to say that the job hunt is finally over. And
congratulations.
As of recording next Monday, I will start as staff engineer of design systems at Provi, which is a B2B alcohol solution distribution system for the United States. But I'm going to be maintaining their design system and helping create a component library in Svelte. And they work with SvelteKit, which I'm very, very excited about. I think they're migrating an Angular legacy app into SvelteKit, and then I think they also have a React app that they're moving to SvelteKit.
I'm gonna let you finish,
but
I just want to say that an alcohol solution is beer. Right, carry on.
It's meant for restaurants, bars, grocery stores. Everybody in the States has to order through different distributors for each type of alcohol. So beer could be like different companies that sell beer would be a different distributor. Liquors, different types of liquors would be from a different distributor. So they have like a salesperson that's kind of this middleman and they go to the distributor. So it's 3 steps basically for one type of alcohol. So what Provi does is it has them still have their seller and their retailer, but they can order right in the app, and it's all in this one UI that's familiar to them, and it goes out to the correct people.
Oh.
So it just kind of centralizes the process of 100 different distributors. Yeah. It's trying to help and solve the ordering issues with alcohol.
I think in this country, every beer distributor is just First Drinks. They seem to own everything, and they're also rubbish, and I hate them. They took my favorite rum and they destroyed it. So screw you, First Drinks.
Yeah. How are you now going to make your, what was the cocktail again? The one that you had at Svelte Summit in the Caribbean Park?
Like the painkiller.
Painkiller, that's the one.
Oh, that's the one that you got the mug for.
The one I got for the mug for, I definitely overpaid for that mug. I was too excited to see it, and I went on the website when I got home, and it was like $10. And I paid about €30 for it.
Oh my gosh!
Well, I got excited. Smokes. What can I say?
What's in a painkiller?
A painkiller is the recipe is 4-2-1-1 depending on how you like it. So 4 parts pineapple, 2 parts Puss's Navy gunpowder proof rum, and 1 part, I think you can do with or without orange. So either 1 part orange and 1 part coconut cream, and then some nutmeg on top. And it's amazing. That
sounds like the best drink ever.
Oh, just because it is the best drink ever. But the other thing is, you can change the amount of rum in it to make it stronger or weaker. So it can be like, it can be 4-1-1-1 or 4-4-1-1, whatever you want to do, really.
Nice.
And yeah, it's got an amazing story behind it. If you visit their site, the stories. I mean, I imagine the story's mostly true, but maybe somewhat embellished. About a Navy captain marrying the owner of the Soggy Dollar Bar in the BVI, British Virgin Islands, just to steal the recipe, and she still refused to give him the recipe, and so he divorced her and stole the recipe anyway. And he went back to his ship and got his cooks to like reverse engineer it, and they found what the recipe might be, and that's what the drink is.
Is coconut cream a liqueur, or is it?
No, it's coconut. It's coconut cream.
It's
cream inside of coconut. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. That's like
you
could use coconut rum or pineapple rum too.
Yeah,
you could, but one should not adjust the painkiller. It is a perfect drink.
Because it wouldn't be a painkiller. It's like when you talk about people making carbonara and they add onion and whatever it is, cream or something. That's very popular here.
It's exactly, and it's not quite true. And also, I think that the way that you would find an Italian bolognese is nothing like the Italians would make it, and has alien ingredients they never would put in there.
Yeah,
and they get very offended by it, which is quite funny because I'm like, some meatballs in there. I was going to say, carbonara. I got I got my wife really ordered, but the new Huel pasta one. So Huel is like a meal alternative. It's like generally a milkshake that you shake up the powder with some water, and it's
it's like a meal replacement thing.
Not replacement, because it doesn't really replace. It's designed to give you a guaranteed exact amount of calories and a guaranteed exact amount of nutrition. So if you drink it all the time, it will give you all your nutrients and everything else. And it tastes pretty good. It's mostly.
But it's pasta flavored?
Protein. Well, so now they released a bunch of food ones before, and they were a bit ropey. I didn't really like the taste of them. Yeah. But they've released a new range now, which is things like they've got spaghetti carbonara. They've got bolognese with kind of meat type things in it, and they've
does not sound nice.
Honestly, it's so good. And they released and a mushroom pasta one as well. Honestly, it tastes great. I'm actually really enjoying it. Like I look forward to eating it now.
Is it like a soup? Do you warm it up?
It's a bit like a soup. Yeah, you have it with boiling water.
Okay.
The milkshake ones you have cold water. No,
I do have like a protein soup that's like a powder that you can pour in and eat like a soup. That is okay to me.
So the original food ones they had like seeds and nuts and things in them, a very kind of all this like stuff to make it textured, and they tasted like crap and they were horrible. And I thought I never ate them. We threw them away in the end. But now with the pasta one, they've kind of nailed it. Just the flavors are pretty good. Like the carbonara tastes like it's got loads of cream in it, and it hasn't, of course, because they're all vegan as well.
Oh, nice.
But it tastes like cream somehow, and it's just nice. It's really nice. Happily eat it and it's a time saver, right? For me, we have it because I can't but to think about what to eat or how to get nutrition or has my stuff in the fridge gone off. I just want to make this. Takes 10 seconds. Put some boiling water in. Done. Like it's great.
That actually sounds pretty good. I was thinking of Slim Fast, like the milkshake drinks at first.
It's not for weight loss. It's for if anything, calorie control. It's for giving you every scoop is 200 calories and that's it. So if you want 400 calories, 2 scoops, 600, 3 scoops, and so on.
Yeah.
But food is like the thing. Some people, live
chewing,
for,
like
know?
actual
like
texture and like
and the tastes and the smells and all of that,
But look, I'm a massive foodie, right? I eat the finest food I
Right.
get my hands on all the time, and one, it's really, really expensive. We're spending a fortune on food.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, it's like I love to do that and go out and have a meal, but I'm not going to do that for every meal. I hate takeaways. I hate ready meals. I haven't got time to cook, so I basically go, what am I going to eat? Well, I might as well just eat something that's exacting and nutritious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Fair enough.
And then have fried chicken for dinner. But you can, because you know how many calories you've had.
Fried chicken is so good. Oh.
There's so many good fried chicken places.
We have like 2 separate tangents now.
All right. So new job next week. That's cool. Yeah. Nice. So should we get into some Svelte stuff?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we're here. I forgot.
It is a Svelte podcast after all. I was joking before we started about the this turning into an Apple podcast
but it's turned into food and alcohol.
It's turned into food and alcohol instead. Yeah. Why not?
It's fine.
All right. So the first topic we wanted to talk about is the hackathon. So the hackathon is a thing that we're running with prizes and cool stuff that you can win. And the site goes live on the 30th, if everything goes as planned. And there should be more information on there, like what categories you can submit.
January 30th, I assume, because February doesn't have 30 days in it.
That is correct. Yes, January 30th. So with a good chance, like the site and the announcement has already gone out. But this is an extra announcement for you. So
yes.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Go submit some cool stuff.
Are there plans you can talk about yet, or do you want to wait for the site to go live?
I'd rather wait until it's live. Yeah. Yeah. And then another announcement. We have weekly hangouts starting up pretty soon with someone called E-Train on the Discord. I'm not entirely sure what his real name is. So sorry, E-Train. You will have to tell us your real name at some point so we can talk about you. We could still talk about you with your Discord name. Something
I found out about them that I did not know was that they help maintain Carbon design systems, the Svelte components for that. And I thought that was really cool. I'm very interested in picking their brain.
Yeah, and I forgot about who that was. Yes, perfect.
Yeah. So he's going to run a weekly hangout on Discord, basically, that you can join. And so the concept that we're going to try is everyone is muted by default. So it's a bit like Stages, but with video and audio, so that E-Train can show his screen, or someone else can show their screen, etc. And then if you want to talk, you ping them, and he or someone there will unmute you so you can speak or ask a question or whatever. So that's going to be fun.
A good format. We've used that before in other Discords where everybody starts out muted and then there's a moderator that can unmute.
Yeah, so go check out the Hangouts. There will be more precise details with like dates and times and stuff going forward. And if you're into Discord,
show up on Discord events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And probably we're going to announce it on Twitter.
Hackathon and everything in there.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and then there's the What's New in Svelte. That's the newsletter that comes out once a month. This one's the February edition.
Have we ever talked about how to get into the newsletter, like what channels to post in to get your stuff shared?
I don't think we've talked about it specifically. Maybe we've mentioned it in passing sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think that would be a good thing to call out. I think Site Showcase in the Discord is one of them.
Mm-hmm. I think, Site Showcase and the resources one.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called nowadays.
When Danny came on to the Svelte Sirens stream and talked about the newsletter, they talked about what they do to get the newsletter together. So a little bit more information might be in that stream.
Yep. So we can link to that.
Yeah, I think that Site Showcase and library announcements might be the right places because the original Showcase channel was split into. Yeah, I think either of those two places will work.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So what is new in Svelte anyway? SvelteKit's out. There's nothing new to talk about.
Nope.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we're done. No more features, no more bug fixes. No, I think I haven't been paying all that much attention to the new releases of SvelteKit. I think they've pushed a bunch of like fixes and stuff, but nothing major. Do you have any inside info, Anthony?
I don't. There is one thing, but it is still inside info that's going on.
Oh.
Which will be pretty good. I think pretty exciting. But I
exciting.
don't think we're ready to announce it all just yet, but it will come out in the wash.
All right.
As a side note, did y'all see that Astro 2.0 was released?
Yes.
Like they just released one not that long ago.
I mean, the thing is, it makes sense, I suppose, if you're going to have some breaking changes, doing a new major. We were very sort of afraid of doing that because it seems too quick, but I don't think, I think it's a good thing to do.
I think
it's do that.
Been responded well from the community because the changes were good, I guess.
I mean, the alternative is I think it was Nux that was waiting. I think they waited a long time to get to
right.
They did
between their majors, and that's again, it's something you do if you want to make sure that major encompasses everything you want to do, but it's difficult. I think you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel like the main problem there was they wanted to upgrade to Vue 3, right?
Yes, you end up with a chain of things, and that's it. Like at that point, maybe you go, well, you know what? Let's do this change, and then we'll have another major for the Vue upgrade, because you just end up sitting there, sort of stalling.
Has there been anything on like Svelte 4 progress or any like Svelte specific stuff?
So there's a view to switch back to Svelte 4 now. There's a couple of big features which will go in there, make it definitely breaking. I think one of them is the dollar sign moving on the stores, so potentially to arrive at the end like Rx.js. It just gives free interop. So rather than dollar prefix stores, it'll be dollar suffix stores. This is information from way early days of SvelteKit, so I'm not sure whether this is concrete or not yet, but it means that if by following the format of Rx.js, you get integration with that and other things that are similar just for free without any changes.
Yeah, so there was a thread on the subreddit where people wrote in what they wanted in the new version of Svelte. Let's see if I can try to find it. Yeah, let's see here. No, I don't want Reddit Premium.
I know that was one of the things that we talked about in the live episode of the release of SvelteKit. Is just that the focus may start to slide back towards Svelte for a little while. So I was wondering if that had started.
Yeah, okay, I found it. Yeah, so there are a bunch of stuff in here. TS support and template is high on people's list, which kind of makes sense, I guess. What else? Resumability, I guess that would be like a Svelte or SvelteKit thing.
Resumability.
Like the quick.
That sounds like
that
sounds like niche code.
Yeah.
There's a lot of optimizations like that add a lot of complexity for very much a micro performance increase, and I think that those are going to be a hard sell to maintainers, basically, because I think that we always have that trade-off between simplicity and performance. Mm-hmm. If you focus purely on performance, you could definitely tweak it, but you're going to lose some DX. You're going to lose some of the stuff that we do that makes Svelte simple. So yeah, all these things need to be considered, I think.
Yeah, there are a bunch of stuff in here. Mine was I want the compiler to look at more than just one component. That'd be cool to like optimize a whole
the tree
thing rather than exactly, rather than just one component. I think it could make some pretty substantial.
Does it not do that?
Savings there. No, each component is compiled in isolation. Right?
Oh, okay.
So, but if you could like import them all into one blob and then do it, you could probably do some cool stuff there.
For sure.
I don't know. But yeah, I'll link the thread. It's a fun speculation thing. Yeah. What else? The Apple Music thing. Do you want to talk about that, Brittany? Your fame.
So
you're a famous person now.
This tweet was just ridiculous, but someone talked about it in one of the channels in Discord, and I like hunted it down and went to the Apple Music site, and so we knew for a long time that Apple Beta Music was using Svelte, and they've finally brought it out into production, and the Apple Music site now has Svelte. If you inspect it, you can see the Svelte hash classes in there. Someone else was saying they found Marco, and then they found web components mixed in too. So it is definitely a mismatch of a lot of things. Marco was an interesting one for me. I'm like, so they're using eBay's framework mixed with Svelte, mixed with web components. Okay. Must be like a micro front end.
Whatever works for them, I guess.
Yeah, but there are Svelte hash classes all over. It happened to be in the header, and people are like, every time I see Svelte, it's in a navigation, but it's really all over the site that they have. It's not just in the navigation. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's one more of those validations, I guess.
Yeah,
of companies using it.
I think
people are always asking.
Navigation. There's a pretty reasonable place to first find Svelte when someone's migrating. Mm-hmm. We certainly have built the Chrome of our application first, and if we're migrating, say, from SAP to SvelteKit, you'll find the SvelteKit headers appear on a SAP site for a long time before the whole application is converted. So
because it's a very easy thing to convert. At Granger, we did the header and the footer before anything else.
It's just logical, it's logical in that I don't want to build things and put them inside a slower application or an application with a worse DX. I want to take my brand new, clean SvelteKit instance, and I want to add all my Chrome, my headers, navigation, whatever else, and then somehow just inject the old content into the base of it until I have time to convert it over. We've done exactly that. Beyond the marketplace uses Sapper, but it has the SvelteKit headers in it. And the homepage is all SvelteKit.
Nice.
So when are you expecting to be done?
The conversion?
Yeah.
Well, which bit?
Never.
So there's many applications within Beyonc. Dashboard will be
fair enough.
the last. Marketplace second. The checkouts just have a complete new rewrite in SvelteKit, and that's awesome. So. That includes the booking form. So really, there's only two big SAP apps left to go. It's just that they are two big SAP apps.
Massive,
Authentication will soon be in SvelteKit. There's an ever diminishing number of pages that are still SAP.
Doesn't sound too bad.
No, it's not. It's a gradual migration.
Before we continue with the episode, here's a word from our sponsor, Vercel.
Vercel is the platform for front-end developers, providing the speed and reliability innovators need to create at the moment of inspiration. Founded by the creators of Next.js, Vercel has zero configuration support for 35 plus front-end frameworks, including SvelteKit. We enable the world's largest brands like Under Armour, eBay, and Nintendo to iterate faster and create quality software. Try out Vercel today to experience the easiest way to use Svelte.
I wanted to shout out this thing that a person called Stellan Haglund made, which is
say that again.
It's Stellan Haglund. It's a Swedish name. So I found out that he's actually the creator of something called Boxbollen, which is like a band that you put on your head, and it's got a string, and there's a ball on on the string, and then you box the ball.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty cool. I had this very random thing that, because I've seen those before, but it turns out that he like
again. I wish we had video so you could see Kevin airboxing.
Yeah. Anyway, so he made this template in Swift, and I'm pretty sure he made one in I don't know what Android uses. Is it
Java?
Kotlin?
Or Kotlin too, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, but he did a one for iOS and one for Android, and it's basically lets you listen to route changes in Svelte. So you listen to route changes in SvelteKit, or rather, you listen to the route changes in the Swift or the Android template thing, I guess.
The native, like whatever,
exactly the native stuff, and it lets you like push new views onto the screen and go back and customize that little bar that you usually have at the bottom of the screen in a lot of apps. So you get to customize the icon and the text and the colors and all that stuff. And it kind of looks like a native app because it loads so quickly. So every screen is a new web view, but since it's local, it loads very, very fast. And all you have to do in your SvelteKit app is basically return an app attribute with a configuration for your navigations, basically. So you define like back, you go to this screen, and forward, you go to this screen, or whatever.
The tweet,
which is pretty cool.
in the show notes, has like a really nice graphic to showcase what we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So that'll be in the show notes, and like if you look at the Twitter, like the video, it's very fluid, like it's very fast, and it almost looks like it's a.
Are those Svelte animations that are coming?
No. So those are
native.
done by the native Swift library, or whatever
Gotcha.
it's called in iOS, and then the page itself is the actual web view.
Okay.
Of SvelteKit.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's very cool. And he did release a repo somewhere as well that I'll link. Yeah, I think that's it. It's pretty cool.
Somebody, I was jumping to the next section, and someone wrote Anthony by my unpopular opinion. Now I'm dying because Anthony's not going to say that.
With that said, let's move on to unpopular opinions. So, Anthony, what's your unpopular opinion?
My unpopular. Can I ask a question first? Actually,
Sure.
this is a Sweden question. Do the names of products in IKEA seem weird to you too?
A bit, yeah.
A bit.
But they're usually places or things.
Swedish things or places is what they name them.
Yeah, but or like adjectives sometimes is like they are words usually, but sometimes they're just like weird.
Yeah. Okay.
But mostly you kind of get the connection to the actual thing.
Well, that's it. Because I mean, even in English, I think you get the connection. The word sounds a bit like the reason I asked that is because you just reminded me when you said boxbollen. Box ball.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas breadbandsbolleget, which I can't pronounce, I'm not going to try.
The what?
Broadband provider, the breadbandsbolleget. That's what. That's.
Bredbandsbolaget.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So that one.
It's literally like the broadband company.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Very literal. Meaning.
Yeah. So yeah, controversial opinions. I see that I'm being trolled in the show notes. Whereas my unpopular opinion is Fahrenheit's better than Celsius. It is not. Metric.
That was my unpopular opinion.
It wasn't it? And it's unpopular. And you also then disagreed with yourself, which was hilarious because you decided it wasn't.
Well, I said
that's on me. Sorry.
Metric is usually better. I wish that we knew more metric measurements. But when it comes to telling weather, and you told me that Celsius, that it was -5 there, and I looked up what that conversion was, and it was 23. And then I looked and it was 31 here, and it also said it was -5 Celsius. I was like, how do you tell what the temperature is outside? Like,
well, there's two things here. One is that's a rounding problem. If you want the exact temperature,
so rounding errors. So Celsius has rounding errors. Is that what you?
Well, no, you can round Fahrenheit too, right? Maybe it's 35.2 Fahrenheit, But
is 32 and 33 that different?
The reason, well, no, but
What's the
this is
difference
it.
between
This is my
-5
point.
and -6?
The reason that I rounded it is because it's not important, because you can't tell the difference between -5 and -4 and -6. Never mind 0.5 of a Celsius or 0.2 of a Celsius. Therefore, I rounded it to something reasonable, whereby
but that's
maybe
8
there's
degrees.
a
I think I could
discernible-
tell a difference between 23 and 31.
You're telling me that you can tell a difference between -5 and -5 Celsius, i.e. -5.7 and -5.2, let's say.
Because it's 8 degrees in Fahrenheit. I think it's different.
We need to scientifically test this, because I don't think you can. I think you're wrong. And I think
it's a more accurate depiction of what is going on outside. Like 60 is cool and pleasant. 60 to 70 is like cool and pleasant outside, but I don't know what that is at like 20 Celsius.
Do you look at the sky and
15,
talk about the sky in
half.
HSLA values? Well, not A, but HSL
No,
values
I
or
say
RGB
it's
values. Do you say, oh, you know
sunny.
what? The sky is kind of 128, 77, 34. So, it's irrelevant. It's red, or it's blue, or it's white. It's grey.
I sure hope the sky is never
I say
red.
it's sunny, or at sunset it's kind of
it gets red. It
reddish
gets
hue.
and it can go kind of purple sometimes. It can go kind of purple, but it's not like the saturation's increased by 0.2. And then, you know what? The hue. Look at the hue of the sky. It's 74 now. Like,
though, you know what? Imagine if you could actually, if that was actually how we talked about colors, though.
Sure, it would be.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be much more specific than what we do now? Oh, it's Rebecca purple. What the hell does that mean?
Light golden
It's
rod
purple,
yellow.
and it's
The
named Rebecca.
CSS color name of the
Yeah.
color is what you have to call.
Yeah,
It is light golden rod yellow.
exactly.
No, I mean, but this is it. This is now like my next week's controversial opinion, because we should use a commensurate level of specificity when describing.
Well, isn't
things.
Fahrenheit more specific than Celsius?
No, but it's not a commensurate level. It's not a suitable level. It's nonsense, right? The only reasonable level is degrees Celsius. And just to top this off here, the reason that Celsius is better than Fahrenheit, and as a whole metric is better than imperial, is because the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. The freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. Isn't that nice? Aren't those nice numbers?
That is
you can
nice
just-
and round.
But it's just arbitrary.
It is
though.
It's not
Arbitrary.
arbitrary. No, it's the opposite of arbitrary.
Oh, but
it's exact. It's specific.
Well, I mean, Kelvin is exact.
Sure, but who uses Kelvin?
I mean, just like, why did you pick water?
Well,
Why is that the thing that we
Oh
measure?
yeah, it is just waters.
because water's a very common thing to need to know that you want to boil or freeze it, right?
Yeah. But do you need to know that you need to boil it to 100? Or do you just put on the stove?
I don't know the boiling point in Fahrenheit. I know it's 200 and something, but freezing is 32, and we know that.
Well, sure, but you memorize these arbitrary numbers, and that's wonderful. I might memorize some HSL values later just for fun, but 0 and 100 are memorable, like properly memorable.
I'm laughing so much, I'm hurting.
But the other thing here, right, is crap. Kev, what were you saying to me just now? You were making some absolute ridiculous point about stoves.
About the sashers?
No,
Oh.
we don't put water on stoves and hope that it gets hot enough to boil, right? What we do is we have a kettle, because we live in the UK, which is 220 volts, so it's actually 230 volts, but whatever. Let's not get into specific numbers because it's ridiculous. The point is, it's double the US's power output, right? And it's not because the US really runs at 220, but they level it down. But whatever. This is too specific again. The kettle boils the water because it gets 100 exactly, or slightly over, and then it freezes.
But do you put the kettle to 100?
Huh?
Do you
Do you
No,
put the
'cause it's
kettle to
built in.
100?
It's
No,
in
exactly.
the memory.
the kettle knows?
The kettle knows that it's 100.
It just knows.
And I bet there's a little chip in there, right, with binary on it, and I bet it's like 00 whatever, Trevor. You know, I bet it's got
Chat GPT.
a binary exacting
Hello,
number.
turn me up to
Where
100.
this would confuse the crap out of me is on our air fryer, we have degrees, our oven too. Like we have to turn it to a certain degree to cook different foods, and like 360 is what we cook like fries on. And if you switch that to Celsius on me, I would freak out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
entrenched.
That's actually a problem. Like if you're looking for recipes in English over here, you get a lot of American recipes, of course, right? So you have to always like convert from quarts or whatever.
We use a lot of liters and
then like.
Well, no, liters is metric.
Liters is metric. Do you know what?
Yeah, we do use liters.
You've just segued.
Cups.
Yeah, cups.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah, cups.
That's the biggest problem of all. That's enough. The word cup alone is enough to make me rant for another 17 hours about this. Right. All the recipes I find online are in cups. And what is a cup? Oh, it's different depending on what's in it. Flour. A cup of flour is different to a cup of water.
You know what I would like?
Converters. Because it's not the same thing.
I don't. I just have a
like
measuring cup.
And I would like an extension in Chrome that I could just click on to magically turn. Yeah,
Google does it. I always
that up now.
I stand in the kitchen and
That's
shout
manual. You would have to, just shout at Google.
Yeah, shout at Google and say, "What's a bloody cup of flour? What's a cup of like I don't know, a cup of egg? Give me how many eggs can you fit in a cup? It could it depends.
Well, you always say 1 or 2 or 3 eggs.
I have never seen in a recipe
though.
a cup of egg.
Neither have I, but it's an example, and I bet you can find it. I bet you can find it. I bet a cup of egg is in a recipe.
1 cup.
One cup of egg. Oh, that's 2.5 eggs.
And
how do you
what
get half
size
an egg?
of eggs is that? That's
Actually, 1 cup of egg. That sounds like a really nice like investigative journalism website.
1 cup of egg.
Kind of like reminds me of the pudding.
1 cup of egg.
You know, 1 cup of egg or a cup of egg or something. I don't know.
The reason this is particularly sensitive for me, right, is one that my name's spelled Antonti, which is weird. But I don't know why that's the case. That's really strange. But the other thing, the reason it's problematic for me, right, is because in the UK we are so stuck in the past and yet somehow want to be part of Europe and metric that we've ended up in the middle somewhere. And we were saying before how if a measurement is less than a mile, if a measurement's more than a mile, we measure it in miles. And if it's less than a mile, we measure it in metric. And we measure our weight in imperial, and we measure our height in imperial. But even though our height is less than a mile, that's for some reason imperial. It's
so
nonsense.
it's your cultural
it's funny.
confusion. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Because, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit here. Like we do use liters for some things, but very rarely do we use metric for anything, which is confusing when we go anywhere else.
Right, we use pints of beer, and pints is a very memorable 568 milliliters, right? You know what? My dad couldn't remember how much it was. My dad couldn't remember how many milliliters were in a pint, which just surprised me, actually, because he's the king of all this bizarre, like, metric. Well, not metric. He hates metric. He likes imperial, but... You know, but it's annoying because we learn metric in schools, and yet the country works on imperial, and we've just got this weird mishmash that changes at the drop of a hat.
Would you rather say 560 milliliters or a 1 pint? 1 pint.
I would do this, right? I would go, let's call the generic beer measurement in the UK, let's call it half a litre like Europe does, and have done with it. I don't care about 68
Is it a little
mils.
more? Yeah.
Yeah, just round it down.
Or a little.
Round it down. I will happily accept less beer. Right? This is how important it is, because
you would
everything is
accept
so
less
confusing.
beer. Jeez.
I will have 68 mil less beer as long as we stop calling things pints and have them in metric. I would rather.
I
go
do like
for
standards,
ABM.
so I will go. So that's why I said earlier that I do think metric is better, because a standard across the world, and if we could globally come to a standard, it would be very nice.
We do. It's called a metric system, but no one.
But no one like plays nicely with it. Exactly.
Well, let's just ban imperial. Let's just ban it. Just stop doing it.
As the world.
I feel like we're gonna short circuit all of us.
My
if we
mind is
don't
gonna
move on
melt.
to another.
The next one is probably going to be just as. And then Anthony got put on that one too, and I wrote it.
Anton TT. Why is my name changing?
Anton TT.
They're trying to melt my brain. They're really ruining it. I already have cold.
And it's
I'm already
working.
ill.
It's working.
I'm already ill. Snake, no.
I was wondering what you were talking about. So this was a Twitter thing that I saw pop up this morning, and is it Joff or Jeff? Jeff Rich.
Jeff.
Posted. Yeah. What are some anti-patterns in Svelte? And then someone said something about using camel case over snake case. And then Rich did his Rich thing and went in and was like, this is why we use snake case and this is why it's better.
Well, so the internals of Svelte written in snake case because it's Rich's preference. And I like it now, actually. And the externals, camel case, because that's a node standard, right?
He posted a study that 20%, it was 20% more efficient in a study done on developers that they did using both. So some used camel case, some used snake case previously, did a study, and it was 20% more efficient when reading.
And I believe it is. That's why I kind of like it now. And it's the same with the tabs and spaces. It's accessible and all that kind of stuff to use tabs. The thing is, and I've been converted on a bunch of these issues, but one thing that I am not converted on is the use of semicolons. I'm not gonna use them. I think they
I hate
make a mess of the code.
Yes,
but I guarantee there'll be
some. It's the same thing I feel about
reason
TypeScript.
Yeah, well,
I think it makes
TypeScript definitely makes the code unreadable. Types alone, yeah, for sure. But the most important question here is snake case. How long is that line, that underscore? How many millimeters is it? And can you express it in fifths of an inch or whatever you want to do? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
How many millimeters? It looks like
you really can't let this one go, right?
Nope. We're going to change
I can't
the
let it
world
go because I'm living in this world around me that everything's all mishmashed. Mm-hmm. My name has got too many T's.
Yeah, fair enough. The rest of the world can just relax.
Does that go into the show notes? Can you leave the name like that in the show notes so everyone can appreciate it?
And Tom TT.
Tom TT.
Everyone's just chilling in Europe with a metric system, and I'm stuck here in Imperial Britain. Oh,
that could be such a good meme. Stuck in Britain with the Imperial systems.
That picture that has the crazy geometry stuff all around her head.
Yeah,
do that one.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of that. There's just a picture of Jacob Rees-Mogg would be a good one. Yeah.
The what?
Victorians. They are Victorians. Anyway.
Now he's just mumbling
because they honestly want to go back to Victorian Britain. They feel like it was better or some nonsense like that.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I think that's it for our unpopular opinions. Unless you guys have more.
I have nothing more to say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do picks then. I can go first because I didn't have an unpopular opinion. So I wanted to pick a new TV show from HBO Max based on a TV. Sorry, not a TV. A game. Sorry, a game. So I thought a game that you play on the TV. So it was just messed my mind up. It's called The Last of Us, and it's about some people that are trying to survive a zombie apocalypse thing. It's a very, very good game. So I have very high hopes for the TV show, and so far it's actually awesome. Very, very good.
I think HBO Max needs to come out with something that's going to compete because they've kind of fell off a little bit. I feel like since Game of Thrones went off and then Westworld's last season was not great.
As it's canceled as well, right? Westworld. Yeah. No, I think this is very good. Both of the episodes have got a 9.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Nice. So that's my pick.
I'll go next because there was silence. So my throat hurts now. I think my cold and combination of ranting is not a great combo. So my pick is actually the metric system. No, it's not. I'm joking. So what it is called Crumb Sim. So crumbsim.com. And it's a way of building visually circuits. So you could mock up things that you might do on a breadboard, which is essentially like a quick prototyping board for electronic circuits. And
will
I
Notion,
understand
not
from
link
this that you can even kind of run your circuits like you would debug code in software, and it will make the components operate, and you would see what voltages come out and line drops and all this kind of cool stuff. So I build now and then. I build things on breadboards. I mostly fail. My co-hosts can see that I tried to start working on my desk adjustment system, and now it's just this mess on the desk because I gave up. But essentially, I'm trying to build things using circuits, and I find it, as a software engineer, very frustrating that you have to actually build it to test it rather than knocking something quick up and see if it works. And breadboards help and go a lot of the way, but having this as virtual simulator is even better than that. So so it lets me play around a bit and hopefully no fires at my desk, which is also happening. Trying to fix that up and down thing. I accidentally shorted it out and it's 36 volts and there was a lot of smoke. But online, not such a problem. So CrumbSim hopefully will solve some of that. There's also another one, I can't remember the name of it, for Raspberry Pis. If you've got Raspberry Pis at home, it's like a simulator for things for those.
They're all sold out.
Raspberry
I can't
Pis
find
are
them for love
sold
nor
out?
money.
Wow.
Yeah. For a long time, for years. I've got a drawer full of them.
Is it the chip shortage thing?
I don't know. I think
Are there
they
chips
just
in?
it's just
I'm
demand.
not sure.
It's just demand. The moment they make some and ship them, people buy them.
Wow.
And there's also another one, a simulator for Arduino as well. So similar sort of thing. You can knock things together and online and do it virtually, and it's just like testing code.
Sounds
Maybe
really
this
helpful.
means you can unit test them. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
That's
Who
my pick.
knows?
My pick, I just kind of threw one. I know I've done it on other podcasts. I don't think I've done it on here, is Arc browser. So with the new job, I've got my MacBook back and I can finally use Arc again. And I was converted when I had my previous Mac, but it does frustrate me a little bit that it is Mac only. I do not like things that are specific to Apple. It's like, oh, that's the only people that can use it. They are making a Windows version, so hopefully it will come out eventually, but they have nailed everything about the experience of browsing, like from grouping tabs, pin tabs, and then having spaces that you can separate accounts and stuff if you want, and having that visual experience of everything just kind of going away and taking up the entire screen for the page that you're on is really nice.
Yeah, I tried it out. I think we talked about it at a couple of episodes ago, Arc in general, I think. And I tried it out and I did like it a lot, but then it kind of irks me that you have to log in.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Why do you need to? Yeah, so you have to have an account.
Oh,
to
I
use
think
the
it's
browser,
to kind of gatekeep a little bit people using it because it's free.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. But maybe if in the future if they open it up to everyone, then I'd probably try.
I don't know
again.
how they would monetize it, which is
but yeah, I
kind
liked
of a
it.
problem for that company too. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe you're right. Maybe we did talk about it, and I shouldn't have.
No, it's a nice pick. Might as well pick it again. I don't think you picked it though, so
When Linux version?
not sure.
Never.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like nothing ever goes to Linux.
All right.
Unless it starts on Linux.
Yeah.
Haven't you converted from Linux?
No, God no. I have a Mac M1, but I run Linux on it. Why would I go from better to
Oh yeah,
worse?
you talked about that at some point. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I
is
use
it?
the Mac on it sometimes because certain things like Zoom were not working for me because there's no there wasn't video drivers before on the Linux version. But it's just a horrible operating system. Such a horrible experience to use.
I think
The Mac OS?
Yeah, it's horrendous. I really hate it.
I think Windows is better, honestly.
I don't
than Mac.
consider Windows to be an operating system.
I think we have an unpopular opinion
Do dual
for the future
boot?
here.
We're doing another. Do dual boot Linux and Mac? Is that?
Well, you have to because you can't remove Mac off it yet. But I basically boot to Linux every time. Yeah, and I'll probably replace my desktop eventually with an M2 or something, and just
Like a Mac Studio or something.
Yeah, Mac Studio, or I mean, to be honest, like
Mac Mini.
Why
the
get
M series
a
is so
Mac
good.
computer then? Why not get a cheaper
the hardware
Windows?
is good.
But the
Because
Windows
the
hardware is better.
It's not because ARM is by far
Oh, the
the
ARM
superior
chips are
architecture.
That's
and there are ARM based machines that run Linux or Windows, whatever. Windows doesn't run on ARM properly.
Like a Raspberry Pi.
They had them longer than Apple, but I don't think they make current processors that have them.
They still do. So, I mean, server processors are massive. So basically, the M series, the Apple Silicon, is just ARM, and ARM is a company that formed in 1982, I think, or something, in the UK. And actually, I grew up a schoolboy and everything else just using ARM-based computers, and they were fantastic. They were really good. And so when I got my first PC running Windows 3.1, I switched to x86, and I didn't really know at the time, but I was down a path of disappointment. And so when I heard that Apple had made the ARM processors suitable for desktop processing, then proper like desktop processing, I was like, this is amazing. The Raspberry Pis are ARM based as well.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. History.
Yeah. It's
Advanced
long
RISC machines
and interesting. All right, I think that's our picks, our popular and unpopular opinions, our topics. Yeah. Anything else before we sign off?
No, I think that's it. I think we're good.
Getting back on track in 2023.
Yeah, let's get started. Whoop whoop. One thing. I'm looking for venues in Lisbon for Svelte Summit in the fall. Almost forgot it.
I know, and your dates, your tentative dates, is my birthday, so I'm very excited. Yeah,
really?
October 20th is my birthday.
You spoiled the date now.
Oh, you said tentative, so
yeah, that is true. All right, that's us. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Later.
Hey, it's Kevir. If you like the show, please drop a review on your favorite podcast player. It would help out a lot. Thanks.